show on the Multi-Format Network. This has been the
WCGO 1590 AM, W240EH 95.9 FM, Evanston, Chicago.
This is MFN News for you.
Highlighting a story from TheGuardian.com. Half of recent U.S. inflation is due to high corporate profits, a report finds. A new report claims resounding evidence shows that high corporate profits are a main driver of ongoing inflation, and companies continue to keep prices high, even as their inflationary costs drop. The report, compiled by the Progressive Groundwork Collaborative think tank, found corporate profits accounted for about 53% of inflation during last year's second and third quarters. Profits drove just 11% of price growth in the 40 years prior to the pandemic. According to the report, prices for consumers rose about 3.4% over the past year, but input costs for producers increased by just 1%, according to the author's calculations, which were based on data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis and National Income and Products accounts. The report's authors even scoured corporate earnings calls and found executives bragging to shareholders about keeping prices high and widening profit margins as input costs come down. Meanwhile, highlighting a story from taskandpurpose.com, a lost flashlight has caused $4 million in damage inside an F-35 engine. A flashlight left inside an F-35's engine during maintenance work destroyed a $14 million engine at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona, according to Air Force officials. The mistake by a team of 3 maintainers damaged the F-35's engine beyond local repair. The mistake was made, the report found, by a maintenance team that did not properly account for every piece of their toolkit after performing maintenance on the jet, a bedrock principle in aircraft repair. No one was injured in the mishap. The flashlight caused $3,933,106 in damage, said the report, highlighting a story from CNN.com. In the first known action in the criminal justice system, a special grand jury is to examine the Uvalde response, a newspaper has reported. A special grand jury was chosen in Uvalde, Texas, Friday to investigate the response to the 2022 massacre at Robb Elementary School, according to area newspapers. The grand jury investigation would represent the first publicly known development with the criminal justice system, amid all the investigations into the botched police response. The San Antonio Express News reports District Attorney Christina Mitchell told them the grand jury would review evidence related to the mass shooting, but declined to comment on any focus of the grand jury investigation. Jurors are expected to spend at least 6 months investigating the case, according to the Uvalde Leader News. The critical incident review released last Thursday determined Uvalde officers had many opportunities to reassess their flawed response to the school massacre, as it was still unfolding. Instead, it took 77 minutes from when the 18-year-old shooter walked into the school until he was shot. Highlighting a story from lambgoat.com, a Florida man plays Deftones and System of a Down during brain surgery. During his brain surgery at the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine in Florida, Christian Nolan played the guitar as the surgical team removed a tumor from his right frontal lobe. During the surgery, Nolan performed various songs, including those by Deftones and System of a Down, as the surgeons carefully removed the tumor. The procedure was conducted while Nolan was awake to continuously monitor his brain functions and protect critical areas of the brain. Highlighting a story from abcnews.go.com, a cancer vaccine with minimal side effects is nearing phase 3 of clinical trials. Highlighting an article from abcnews.go, this is what we know about the cancer vaccine so far. Wagner's TLPO cancer vaccine has been tested in hundreds of patients with advanced forms of melanoma in phase 2 clinical trials. The most recent data presented at an academic conference showed nearly 95% of people given only the vaccine were still alive 3 years after starting the treatment, with 64% of those people remaining disease-free. Among the most advanced forms of melanoma, disease-free survival after 3 years for people with stage 3 disease was 60%. In the vaccine-only group, compared to about 39% in the placebo group. Disease-free survival for those with stage 4 disease was about 68% in the vaccine-only group and 0% in the placebo group. Highlighting a story from apnews.com, residents pulled soggy and muddy furniture from their homes in San Diego on Tuesday, a day after the flash floods from a torrential storm produced the city's 4th wettest day in nearly 175 years. It was also the city's rainiest ever day in January, according to records dating to 1850. Vehicles were swept away as people fled amid the torrents coursing through their Shelltown neighborhood. California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency for San Diego County and Ventura County.
And that was MFN News for you.
Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They're affordable too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com.
Every year in Illinois, over 30,000 drivers are arrested for DUI. Due to improper testing procedures, many people end up being wrongfully charged. The book DUIs Decoded cuts right to the chase and tells you how proper DUIs arrests are supposed to be made, from the initial traffic stop to the reasoning behind the field sobriety test, all the myths and facts about taking a breathalyzer, and more. DUIs Decoded is written by nationally recognized DUI expert witness William Polarinos. Available now at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
The views and opinions in the following show do not necessarily reflect that of this station or its ownership.
Welcome to 1590 WCGO, a political talk show. That's right, we are back in the saddle. Everybody is healthy. Everybody is out of whatever sickly craziness. I had COVID and a baby at the same time.
Oh,
My
no.
goodness.
Wow.
It was crazy. I'm Dennis
That's a
Sonar
story.
Green, and we'll talk about some political talks on the Political Talks show. You can find us anywhere on the internet, planet, universe, etc., at your favorite podcast things.
Streaming live.
Streaming live right now. Where are we streaming live there, executive producer?
We're on YouTube and Twitch right now, streaming live. Also,
Hello.
WCGOradio.com, 1590WCGO.com.
That's right. And over the airwaves.
Over the airwaves.
The OTAs, if you will, if you're old school. Terrestrial is what I like to call it because it sounds more scientific. Yeah, 1590 WCGO, that's AM. And
FM.
95.9 FM, that's right. I was just talking about that translator with the big boss just this morning.
We're everywhere, man. Well, thank you for coming out and saying, giving a reason for why I've been the solo host for the last week
You've
or so.
been doing such a great job, man.
I appreciate that, man. I did just a couple shows, but Paul, you got sick for a whole week.
I mean,
The Sonar has
rough.
been planning to have a baby, and you figured out you had COVID.
Oh my god!
Right before it was
right
gonna
before
happen.
we were going to go. So like we
Craziness.
had an induction planned, and we were like, okay, let's do it in the morning. Let's go. So we get a call, and they're like, hey, come in a couple hours later because I guess there was a whole bunch of overnight babies. And they're like, well,
Super
since you're-
busy right now,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like we're super busy right
Oh, you
now.
made a reservation.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. I know your table was here, but like we've given it to someone else. I'm sorry, sir. I know you're a repeat customer. But essentially, they said, "Hey, let's do it." And I kind of had a headache and a little bit of sinus pressure the night before, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to be around a bunch of babies. I'm going to be around my new baby, and in a hospital. Let me make sure that I'm good. Take it, pop."
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
good on you for checking in, not just going, it's the sniffles or whatever.
Yeah, so I've been clear for the last couple days, at least 2 negative tests all around for everybody in the family. So I got to hang out with the older kids while they were at the baby store picking out the new one,
Yeah.
the Build a Baby.
Oh,
Where
that's awesome.
You take the heart and you put it in the thing. They pump it full of the stuffing.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to society.
Thank you.
It's like we were talking. It's kind of like your own special anniversary. Then out of quarantine.
Yes, and it's
that's nice.
absolutely her anniversary going forward. But it's great. Penny is here. Penelope.
Yeah,
is,
man,
is
that's
her
awesome.
name. I like that name. And then you were also sick, sir.
Yeah, it was
Political campus over here.
Yeah, no, it was
Paul's always
rough.
sick.
It was yeah, it does seem like whenever I don't take the time off for to go anywhere or to like take a vacation, do anything. No, it's only when I get sick that it's like it seems I miss work. But yeah, it was rough. I mean, it's about 2 weeks. I think this nasty upper respiratory thing that's been going around, and took a good solid 2.5 weeks to kick it, and it's good to finally feel back to normal. So as back to normal as I can be, I suppose.
Good. Yeah, you sounded rough on the phone a couple times.
Yeah,
I've been feeling fine, guys. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Holding down the fort and everything.
I just assume you're good, Ben, because you're the best.
Iron Man over here.
Executive producer extraordinaire. Knocking it out. Then there was a bunch of things that I wanted to talk about. Just oh my gosh, watching the news, I was like, I need this show. I need to just keep doing it. I need to be a part of it. It's therapy.
Get it out. Yeah, lots been happening.
A lot has been happening. I mean, we got to see Trump once again win a primary vote that goes on from there. So New Hampshire decided it was him. There was a lot of people that said, no, Nikki Haley's what I'm going towards because I voted for Trump before. I think CNN had an entire clip show that was just boom, 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 back and forth of all these people that were, I guess, Trump deflectors.
Judge Judy crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, just going right through, just microphone and hey, did you vote for Ho and so and such and all of these things. I love it when MSNBC cuts away from Donald Trump. It's like you see Rachel Maddow's eyes just lighten up when the guy lies. And he said that he won New Hampshire even in the general election. And it's like, no, Hillary barely beat you, so I'll give you that one. But Biden pretty much swept New Hampshire. And he says he won it 3 times. I believe he's only won it twice. So, but
he just gets confused.
I know he gets confused, especially Nikki Haley not calling for troops. So there was so many different flubs and things that I was just like, I wish I could say the things on the air and say I wish. So was there anything over the week while you were gone, Paul, that you missed, that you were just like, I wish this thing was, I wish I had the show so I could yell at somebody.
Just continue. I mean, I don't know how anyone can focus on anything else but what's going on overseas in both the Ukraine war. It's still going on. And sadly, I think I just saw there was a plane crash somewhere in the country now where 70 people were killed on board. And
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, early reports are that it was a prisoner exchange and possibly,
Ukraine.
Yeah, it was possibly Ukraine. So we'll see, but that's still going on, and then obviously what's going on with the ongoing genocide in Israel and Palestine, and that's just it. And our government's complacency to just keep it going and bolting it, and then to now I guess we're at war with Yemen now. I guess because we're striking Yemen. So
because a bunch of people and I've seen a bunch of these clips as well of people essentially saying, well, now we're at war with Yemen and all this stuff. It's like, well, it's only a couple people. Obviously, yes, the pirates, the Houthis, the everything that's happening. But let's look at the chain of logic. Now, look, if you want to put the terrorist label on anybody who kills innocent civilians, then let's play that game. So we're not going to use that label necessarily because it's back to one person's terrorist, another person freedom fighter, but they all kill people. So let's just keep it at that. So essentially these people are blocking goods to Israel because of what Israel is doing in Gaza.
Yeah, really, it's not completely arbitrary, but just kind of stopping all of the whatever they can and disrupting the general region. But yeah,
The United States can put on whatever sanctions they want to. The United States can continue to fund things. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, they put them on the officially switched them back onto the terrorism list, and it's like, you know, it's more than a list to categorize. It's just kind of more to keep track of like a debt collector with his list of people on the you know, who owes me this much. It's more keeping track of who the enemy is, I suppose.
You know, President Biden was asked this, like, and I mean, to tell you how pointless are, he even said it himself. It's like, are they working? No. Are we going to continue them? Yes. And supposedly they have struck the. This will tell you it's just for, like, how do you call it's just virtue signaling, because supposedly, and I want to make sure we look double. You know, feel free to double check me on this, but they informed the Houthis that they were going to bomb, and not only that, they bombed targets that they have already bombed before, because we have been helping Saudi Arabia fight the Houthis for over a decade. So it's basically, these weren't really actual targets. If they were truly trying to get after them, these weren't the targets that they needed to go after. It's more a symbolic gesture to show the world.
They changed the label.
Yeah, just to show, oh, we're doing something.
We're still going to deliver these like we have been over the last couple of weeks, years, etc. Now we're just changing the reason.
Yeah, and it's just our Congress on both sides is enabling this. It's just, you know,
And that's how it starts. I mean, look at the First World War. It was the same kind of thing. These immovable allies, regardless of what the other person is doing. Like, look, Paul, if you were just a serial face puncher and just running around napping people in the face, me as your friend, I wouldn't turn around and say, have you eaten lunch yet? Do you want me to give you some monies? What's going on? You look really busy. No, I would turn around and be like, bro, are you okay? What can I do? Like, stop.
You wouldn't say I'm spreading democracy, you know, right? It's like,
I'm exercising my freedom of the fist.
yeah.
Fistercising.
Like, but that's the thing. You at some point you have to hold your friends accountable. At some point you have to say, am I the enabler?
Bro, you're making us all look like a jerk here.
Exactly. Like, my mom says I can't hang out with you anymore because you are a bad crowd. So it's getting to that point of, where does the loyalty lie? Is the loyalty with actual humanitarian purpose, or is the loyalty with the money generating side that we need to do of the military industrial complex?
And I'm glad you brought up the just punch it, just randomly serial puncher, because that's what kind of what Israel's doing right now. There's just serially punching, bombing, you know, Lebanon, Syria, you know, there's just it's like, if we don't, like you said, if you don't say to our friend, they're going to draw us into a fight.
And that's what's happening here. We are bombing Yemen.
Yeah.
Because Yemen is holding up trade routes, because Israel is bombing Gaza.
Right.
And that's the chain. You can see as it's moving in front of it, and the disconnect that is happening between our government and what our government is saying and what the Israeli government is saying as well. And there's only a few voices, 11 of them to be exact, that are asking for accountability with this. And that was one of the big things that I wanted to talk about last week. But again, baby COVID, not baby COVID, but baby/COVID. But Apolitical Talk Show will be back, and we will talk about that vote. We will talk about Bernie Sanders bringing up the vote for just looking into what's happening over there. Just had a vote last week to talk about it, and we'll talk about all of the other people who have essentially voted against it, the people that voted for it, and what are the people who don't have a vote but are in charge talking about it. That's right, Apolitical Talk Show right here, 1590 WCGO, multi-format network as well if you're interested. Find us out there on the internet. It's just a search away, and we'll be right back after this.
If you have been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs in Cook County, DuPage County, or Lake County, Illinois, call the law office of Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050. That's 773-775-5050. Attorney Mark Sheblo has over 29 years of law experience handling DUI defense, traffic violations, CDL violations, and Secretary of State driver's license reinstatement hearings. All aspects of your case will be examined in order to find evidence that may help your case, especially the statutory summary suspension of your driving privileges. If your breath alcohol concentration level at the time of the DUI arrest is 0.08 or more, then the summary suspension of your driver's license begins 46 days after the arrest. Time is a crucial factor in challenging the summary suspension of your driver's license. Our law office is located at 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. And again, our office phone number is 773-775-5050.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see safe because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Is your Illinois driver's license suspended? Your driving privileges are important to your livelihood. You need your driver's license to drive to work, get the kids to school, or go shopping. Your driving privileges are crucial for your lifestyle. If your driver's license is suspended, call attorney Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050 to begin procedures to have your driver's license reinstated by the Illinois Secretary of State's office. That phone number for Mark Sheblo is 773-775-5050. Mark Sheblo is an attorney with over 29 years of experience. Call him today at 773-775-5050. Visit his website at SheblowLawOffice.com. That's SCIBLO lawoffice.com.
And welcome back to 1590 WCGO. A political talk show is what you're listening to, watching, being a part of, maybe reading. There is a transcript that's out there that floats around into the world as well.
Yeah, maybe that's the only way that you could get this podcast in the future is just reading a transcript.
Reading.
It's extracted from a hard drive that you found deep within the concrete.
When civilization is collapsed, you'll just, I'm just going to see this chiseled in stone.
Or hopefully whatever alien race has filtered our show out after the light years and hundreds of thousands of light years that this has been traveling.
I hear we're popular on Alpha Centauri.
It is.
So after retrieving this from the primordial goop, we thank you for reading A Political Talk Show.
Thank you. Thank you for being
We're
part
everywhere.
of it. That's
Streaming
why
live.
I love radio so much. It's literal waves. Like the AM side of it is an easily translatable signal. Now, can you filter me out of the cosmic noise? No. Am I part of the cosmic noise? Yes. I'm there. find us. We're there. And we're also, I guess, part of the digital noise that's out there. But it's not as cool. Like digital noise, ones and zeros, they would have to figure out our own algorithms to read anything. MP3, pshaw. You want it to last forever, make sure you've got yourself a glass recording, right?
Oh yeah,
from Dr. Stone there, Paul. That's right.
That's right. Have it etched in glass with the diamond.
With
there
the
you
diamond,
go.
yep, a diamond or a ruby to play it back for you. See, that's right there. That lives forever.
There's right. Isn't there like some sort of we have like a gold album,
Golden
right?
disc, yes.
That's going out into.
That's the old Sagan project.
I was gonna say
They didn't
Bach.
send out. They didn't send out a thumb drive with an MP3 on it.
I'm sure someone has.
That's all I'm. Oh, it's into space. Yeah, like you.
There's a
terrible thing to drop.
Elon Musk shot a car out there.
Into space.
Yeah.
Just shot it out.
Just throwing. Yeah.
There's
as
enough
well.
space junk out there.
That's my theory that we're just going to eventually do with all the waste, all the waste, all the garbage, right? We're just going to start just, chucking it into space. Yeah, that's
space junk.
Yeah, that's my theory. I could be wrong.
Space junk is a upcoming industry. I think there's going to be like space junk. You can
space junk
removers stuff.
Yeah, just point and we'll take it away. So we're talking about technology a little bit. I know I teased the Bernie Sanders stuff right before, but you know what? We got off on a tangent. And like always, I've got a news article about these things. OpenAI bans a developer of Dean Phillips bot. It's its first known political restriction on ChatGPT. You know how much we love OpenAI around here, Sam Bankman, right? Yeah, Bankman, not Bateman. Bateman-Fried is the other one. Sam
That's
Bankman
what I thought you were talking about.
is the other one. But anyway, OpenAI has suspended the account of an AI startup called Delphi for creating a voice bot that impersonated Democratic candidate Dean Phillips. The suspension was a result of new regulations prohibiting the use of OpenAI's ChatGPT for political purposes. Delphi account was also suspended for violating these rules. The AI-powered chatbot Dean.bot was funded by the super PAC We Deserve Better and could interact with voters in real time. Researchers have expressed concerns about the potential harm of such technology in elections.
I've seen a similar story with this politician in Florida. He was running for president for a short time who did the same thing. And I think the same law or type of outcome happened where they were like, can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's for the good or the worse or whatever. It's what it sounds like is this Dean.bot super PAC may have had good intentions towards it. I don't know if it was malicious or otherwise. They didn't really go into it.
Sure, it's more like you can't, as a legal representative, have something else that's not you specifically giving your opinion.
Exactly, and it should be or shouldn't be endorsed by that person as well. I mean, that may be the other caveat that you have it, but then again, what do you know? What do you don't? I mean, there was an entire lawsuit earlier in the internet days where people would just take a picture of Dr. Oz and just post it on the internet. They don't care if it was him or not, or he endorsed it or whatever. They're just like, boom, Dr. Oz, and let's go. And then he was associated with so many of these ridiculous miracle pills that eventually people stopped using his likeness because it wasn't getting them the traction that they wanted anymore. So do you guys, just to talk about this a little bit before we get into something a little heavier, do you guys think this is an asset to be able to use? Like if I wanted to make just an FAQ, but it's maybe just a bot, that's me. In there, do you think that's where it should stop, or should I have essentially some sort of digital surrogate to be able to talk to somebody in my stead? Can I give power of attorney to to the sonar bot
So you would represent yourself, but
Yeah, do you think that it would get to that point? Do you think how would you guys use this tool?
yeah.
Not use this tool?
Go for it, Paul.
Definitely is on limited basis. We have voiceover stuff, or like Siri, or like your Google GPS, right? Like turn left, right?
Yeah.
So we have certain prompt audio stuff already. I think that's where which should stop. Even though not the biggest fan of limiting stuff, but I think just too many. This is just a can of worms. The harm just outweighs the benefits of it. You know, just the potential, what this can do, especially for a politician. We already, I don't know if you saw, there was a thing that went viral not too long ago. There was a AI George Carlin special that they got a lot of. And George Carlin
didn't even sound like him.
No, it was. I listened to it. It wasn't good. And to the point where George Carlin's daughter, spoke out against it.
Yeah, the estate came out, yeah.
And so, I mean, that's where you're starting to see, and especially when it comes to politicians, I mean, we see the power of words and how, I mean, look what Trump can do, right, on January 6th, just suggesting, right? Just the power of suggestion was enough to get people fired up, and especially... So I think when it comes to politicians, I get very nervous about that.
Do you think this is more of an image copyright issue, like somebody else is using my likeness, or do you think this is just dangerous in general because now an AI has the clout of me?
Well, sure, it could be. Especially when it starts one of those things of my image or whatever, a copyright type of a concern. I would think, especially like as it comes around, as it starts, I would hope that we just set common sense stuff in place where, everybody has control over their own image and consciousness, I suppose. But really, when we're talking about this issue, I don't see it more as a danger, especially immediate threat. Instead, it's more of just like you're going to kill your reputation. Like it's already it's before it's passe, it's already passe. You know, it's like it's lazy. You're going to have a robot. It's like having a dumb. I'm trying to think of a example in like the 80s or 90s as technology has come around. It's like the first stupid robot that you have.
Well, look at copy machines then. At that point,
sure.
Eventually, if you copy it, you start to get those artifacts.
Making
that are in
copies.
there.
Speaking of
that should be the first AI generative, the copy guy. And then that's like where it'll.
Now some of these are like it's like you can tell, like you said, the George Carlin one didn't sound like him, but depending on the person, it's like Tom Hanks. That's a big one that goes around. It sounds like Tom Hanks, like on certain clips or certain things I've seen. Like someone did a Trump rap. I don't know if you saw that. That went viral not too long ago, and you could tell it was like it sounded kind of like him and. It's just like you said,
good that trailer of a movie trailer with Corn Pop that we got.
Yeah, that was a good. Right now, streaming on YouTube. Don't go away from our stream. Wait until after. Wait until after, please. There is a online 24-hour stream of 2 chatbots of Biden and Trump debating. And they're just 2 chatbots with that AI that's going on. So I don't know. A lot of it is, for me, I think it's bad copies right now. I think we're at the early stages of the printing press where, yes, I can put my words down, but are my words actually being translated right? Same thing with this. I can put the answers to what I would think some of these things are, and then turn around and be like, okay, well, it's a bad copy of me. It's not like it is in the science fiction side yet, where it's download my brain and now we've got a digital copy. These are going to be bad.
Right.
These are going to be homunculus, just terrible type of entities that are half you, half other large language model stuff, like everything that's in there. When you tell ChatGPT to be Captain Kirk, it doesn't forget all of the things that it was trained to actually do. It just focuses on being Captain Kirk. So that's it, is the surrogate side. So with our last couple minutes here, I want to talk about the surrogates that we are right now. The United States is the surrogate, or I'm sorry, the Israeli conflict that's happening right now. We are the ones supplying this. We are the ones that are paying this side
Without a vote.
Without a vote. So last week, U.S. Senate faced a significant vote initiated by Senator Bernie Sanders concerning the U.S. military aid to Israel amidst the ongoing conflict with Hamas. So essentially, what he had said is the resolution proposed by Sanders called for the U.S. State Department to deliver a report to Congress within 30 days assessing whether Israel had committed human rights violations during its military campaign. The report was also to examine the measures taken by the Biden administration to minimize civilian casualties in the conflict. A failure to produce this report would result in freezing of the annual $3.8 billion the U.S. military aid to Israel. This also stopped the newest aid of, I think it was $14 billion as well, if they found anything that was there, the $14 billion. So we can't even ask for accountability at this point. And we talked about, who was it? Who was the defense secretary? That it was Kirby, right?
Kirby.
Yeah, so Kirby was saying that this is not the place for it. Where is the place for it?
Right.
That's my question with this. If it's not Congress's duty to talk about the war machine, then what is it? Where is it? Who should have it? So that's my biggest thing with it here. Paul, where should the accountability sit? Where should somebody where's the checks and balances with it? Do you think it should be Blinken?
Congress.
Should it be I keep forgetting his name. Why do I keep forgetting
Lloyd
Kirby?
Austin?
Yeah,
Was
is
the
it
Secretary of
Kirby?
Defense?
Yeah, is it Lloyd Austin? Who is in charge of the accountability? We should not be all putting our hands up going, it's not me. You remember the buck stops here, right? So is it the president? Is it who? Where should we be looking for somebody to be investigating the accountability?
Congress, right? It has to be on our representatives. You mentioned it, checks and balances.
Yep. It's the National Security Council
yes.
spokesman.
You know,
that's who John Kirby is.
As it used to be, it should be Congress, yes. But I feel like, sorry to take...
No, I mean, the fact that it's World War II was the last time Congress actually declared war. And you've had all these legislation, things that there's
proxy wars.
Proxy wars have just grown the powers of the president over, and so now to where Biden can just basically do what he wants without a funding bill, without asking for Congress's permission. And it's bad because if we do get drawn, that this is one man now who can draw us into a huge conflict. And for our and they're not. I don't think they're going to be able to hang this on Biden. Because my worry is that they're going to do a bait and switch. The Democrats are going to do a bait and switch, and they're they're just going to throw Biden under the bus and say, oh well, that was all him, and you can't really blame him. And they're going to trying to say if they don't stand up now, they are opening up the door. They're leaving the door open, I should say, for someone like Trump to come in and be the peace guy.
Yep.
And you are just leaving this issue wide open for him, or any Republican or anyone really. It's open for anyone. So it should be on Congress.
Last 60 to you.
Yeah, it's gross that they didn't that no one's taking that easy bait too, right? Mm-hmm. It's like ipso facto they could be the peace candidate. Really anybody, even I think most of the other Democratic candidates are at least of a better plan than what we're seeing out of the administration. And when it comes to who holds control, it has been the presidential administration. Looking back and all through the recent history of stuff. So
Well, that's what I don't want, Ben. I don't want all of a sudden next year somebody to turn around and say, well, it wasn't my job to find this out or to investigate this, or it was supposed to be them, or they should have done this, or why didn't this person? Yeah.
Talk about immunity.
Exactly. Apolitical Talk Show 1590 WCGO. One more segment left over. Join us right after this.
Is your Illinois driver's license suspended? Your driving privileges are important to your livelihood. You need your driver's license to drive to work, get the kids to school, or go shopping. Your driving privileges are crucial for your lifestyle. If your driver's license is suspended, call attorney Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050 to begin procedures to have your driver's license reinstated by the Illinois Secretary of State's office. That phone number for Mark Sheblo is 773-775-5050. Mark Sheblo is an attorney with over 29 years of experience. Call him today at 773-775-5050. Visit his website at SheblowLawOffice.com. That's SCIBLO lawoffice.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
It's really fun.
It's easy.
I'm really glad I helped.
There's nothing like our Great Lakes beaches for year-round outdoor fun, but we do need to protect them. Thanks to Adopt a Beach cleanups, more of our shorelines are being kept healthier, safer, and beautiful. The Alliance for the Great Lakes wants you to join this movement with thousands of volunteers. Learn how at greatlakes.org/adopt.
It's just something that's so important.
Beach cleanups are fun and make a huge difference to our Great Lakes and all they offer. Countless pounds of litter end up on our beaches each year. About 85% of that is plastic. With your help, we're cleaning it up. Bring yourself or come with a friend. Community groups, schools, businesses, everyone is welcome. You can make a difference and have a lot of fun doing it. Go to greatlakes.org/adopt and join us on the beach.
The Great Lakes! Yay!
Welcome back to Apolitical Talk Show 1590 WCGO. That's 1590 on your AM dial. Don't have an AM dial? Well, I'm sorry. That's it. I guess you can't listen to us anywhere. If you're not listening on the AM, I guess there's not a podcast to listen to. I guess there's not a live stream on Twitch or YouTube or any of those things. I mean, man, I wish we could do those things. Ben, is there any way for us to get those done? Like
to listen besides AM radio?
Yeah, AM radio. Is there like another outlet? Like, do we even do those things?
That's my sign for AM radio.
Do we even do those things, Ben? Is it out there?
It's everywhere, man.
It's everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Streaming live. On a regular streaming, what would you call that? Just the encoder?
Yeah, the encoder for the website.
Right to the website.
Yeah.
Simple. You just go to the website, listen live, and then click the play button. That's important. You got to click the play button. It won't just start playing. You got to click the play button. and get it at the right volume that you want it at. And you can just leave it open. It's a real nice experience that I've had.
1590 WCGO if you want to go to that website to listen to it, or if you want to be one of the cool kids and you like typing in your own URLs as it goes, it is rdo.to/WCGO.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty catchy.
I like that.
So that's the link directly to WCGO stream, but you can also watch us on twitch.tv/multiformat network. You can go to Spreaker.com and listen to a political talk show there or your other favorite podcasting platform. And of course, there's YouTube as well. Go ahead and look for that Multiformat Network, MultiFormatNetwork. WCGO call-in number, as always, is 877-711-5611 if you'd like to do that. Those are all my vocal warm-ups for this crazy just grab bag segment of just cleaning house. We're just going through some of the stories that Paul and I missed out on, and I hope you got to listen to when Ben was driving the show himself, which is incredibly hard to do. So I appreciate your talent, sir.
It was fun, man. It keeping myself busy, and just we gotta keep people updated. That being said, new news for you out there. Check that out. You could hear it 1 p.m. and 12 p.m. right here on 1590 WCGO.
The show must go on.
Yes, that's true.
There you go. So we're gonna do some shotgun stories. So here we go, Paul.
Yeah, ready.
What do you think about Russia accuses Ukraine of killing 65 of its own POWs by shooting down the plane? Have you heard this breaking news? that
Yeah,
came through?
I think I that's kind of what I was mentioning before when we started off the show. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. They say a missile came from the Ukrainian defense. If so, they accidentally killed, what is it, 70 people?
65,
Yeah.
they say. 65 of its own POWs. It was 74 people
I
included.
think they asked the Belarus mayor if he said air systems were active, and they went right up to the line of basically saying, yeah, we shot it down. They basically said, well, we're going to treat any aircraft as Russia is potentially hostile, and just left it there. So it definitely appears that Ukraine accidentally took this plane down, and it's just another added to the list, added to the tragedy of this story that's just still going on. Zelensky's still running around asking for money, demanding NATO get more involved. It's just, the sooner this thing can come to a close, the better.
There you go. You heard it from Paul Litical Campos right there.
Yeah.
Have you changed your Twitch yet, sir?
That's it,
or
man.
Twitter?
You got it. It's Paul Litical.
Paul Litical
That's
Campos, or just Paul Litical?
Paul Litical.
Paul Litical.
That's it.
That's great.
Simple. Yeah, I love it. Thanks to you guys. It was a long time coming, and it needed to be done.
Okay, another shotgun story. Ben, what do you think about Proud Boys member getting 6 years in prison for the Capitol riot after insulting the judge?
Seems on par with the demeanor of a proud boy to insult a judge. What are you doing there?
Yeah, do you think if you insult the judge, should you get a harsher punishment? I
don't think
is that
you should.
really fair?
No.
Like, come on.
Well, it's just indicative of.
But it's like,
yeah.
man, you're really asking for it, man. It's like, I mean, what's that? You're supposed to throwing yourself on the mercy of the court. Yeah, I mean, if you want to show a little remorse and like you're actually sorry and you want to try and it would help to show a little humility and not. I just don't get that biting the hand.
And you used the right word there. Prosecutors described Brew, which Mark Brew is the member of the Proud Boys extremist group who was sentenced to 6 years in prison, as one of the least remorseful rioters who planned an armed insurrection in Portland. He represented it himself.
Not ChatGPT him?
Not ChatGPT him. Okay. ChatGPT, pretend you're my lawyer. Hi, my name's Rudy Giuliani. Oh, God, I'm screwed. Anyway,
Just shoe polish coming out of your computer. Oh no!
but yeah, essentially, this guy just insulted the judge, called him a clown and a fraud, and that was it. And I'm sure he said something along the lines of like, "You stand your butt up."
Yeah, pretty much. Or sit your butt down in jail for 6 years. I've seen a lot of these stories with the insurrection people going to jail. And 6 years is probably about middle range of what I've seen. Maybe a little high. A lot of these people are going from, anywhere from 1 to 3 years to the main guy. What did he get? 15 or something?
Something along those lines.
It was, I forget his name even, but the main Proud Boy guy is in jail for quite some time.
There it is. And this one, Brew,
6 years.
is getting 6 years now. Paul, I've got another shotgun story for you. Okay, this one is all about Ronna McDaniel telling Nikki Haley to take a hike. What do you think about this?
Well, I mean,
She said she won, or Trump won, so get out. Ronna McDaniel urging Nikki Haley to drop out. Sparks the fury.
I mean, she's trying her darndest to be the Republican. It's just not gonna happen. First off, when it comes to New Hampshire, it was an open primary, which means you did not have to be a registered Republican to vote for Haley.
To pull a Ducey here, because he was the one that brought it up. You still had to register as a Republican by October of last year. So as long as you registered as a Republican by October, you were able to vote in the primary yesterday.
Okay. No, I mean, well, that being said, I still,
But it still is technically open. It's semi-open.
And so I thought I saw somewhere that there was just most of her voters were former Democrats. Maybe I saw that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But so maybe to that point that's my greater point is that how many of these were actual Republicans voting against Trump rather than former Democrats trying to just boost her up.
Well, that's what I mean. When we talked about it at the beginning, we talked about him winning. CNN had a whole line of people, and I know they went out and found these people. Like they didn't play the people that said, yeah, Trump all the way, or they went out purposely to find these people. But a lot of the people they found that were Haley voters were 2016 Trump voters. And essentially, some of them said along the lines of the whole regret and things along those lines. But essentially, here's my play on it: is I think Nikki's going to stay on it until the trials are done.
That's what she's holding out for.
Yeah, at this point, who else? What do you think? As soon as he's convicted, Chris Christie's going to pop back up? Come on, get out of here with that. Nikki Haley's the last of the Mohicans, and I don't mean that in a racially derogatory
No, a great
term
movie
and
Daniel Day-Lewis. Just again, another spectacular performance.
So essentially, she's the last one, or the last samurai, I guess. Let's do it that way. She's
another great movie.
Back to it. She is
just roll on through it.
The cheese stands alone is what's going to end up
for Wisconsin. We're close to Wisconsin,
my
man.
God, I can't get it. She's the red-headed. I can't.
It's lactose intolerant.
So she is going to end up being the last woman standing. Is what's going to happen. She's here with that. Go ahead, Paul.
No, just real quick. Think about when Trump. Let's say Trump gets convicted. Mm-hmm. Right, I think people are imagining they're going to slap the cuffs on him and haul him out of court right then and there. He is a citizen. He has the full legal rights of any other person. He can't appeal. So more than likely he's going to appeal any conviction, which is how long is that going to take to go through the courts? So it's possible he could be convicted and his sentencing doesn't happen until maybe a year or two into his presidency. Albeit if he's still on the ballot, or if he's even voted in. And then it goes to the question you're always bringing up, and I think it's an important one about immunity. Does the president have immunity? And that's scary to think, because I don't want any president to have that power. So we'll see.
Ben, shotgun story for you, sir. What do you think about over 25% of Gen Z now say they're queer?
What, a quarter?
A quarter. Over 25% of Americans born between 1997 and 2012 identify as LGBTQ in higher percentage compared to previous generations. Nearly 50% of those Gen Z identify as liberal and are less religious compared to older generations. 28% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ, higher than millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. What are your thoughts on that poll that came out? And this is a poll. Because, I mean, they're not going around testing people for queerness.
Well, that's what they want, though.
They do want that.
They want to know.
Breathe into this thing real quick. It's like, whoa, buddy, that's a little gay.
You need to be able to, to be able to know. We want to know that's what I take away from it. I bet it's actually on par with like natural, actual statistics throughout human history. We're kind of getting closer to that point where people are just more comfortable saying, sexuality is a spectrum.
There you go. A lot more things are spectrums,
man.
If
you go there are cave paintings. I mean, pots.
I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, and pictures.
This kind of stuff is just talked about ad nauseum. And personally, I don't care what you like. You'll keep it to yourself. If we could go back to like a little bit, like just everybody know, like everyone's like 25%, kind of high. Like some people you don't expect probably. Have different sexuality than you would think is an quote unquote normal trope. So like, if we could just go back to like not caring.
There you go.
Or
not caring about strangers that do it. For your friends, you want to mess around with
openness,
them. Or be open with your friends. But I shouldn't have to recognize a color based off of what you like to do in the bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to learn a code. Like that's what.
Leave that for my NSA agents.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to We're not going to go to like the gay bars and put the bandanas in our back pocket of certain colors and things like that of the what have you. If you want to do that, go ahead. But I shouldn't have to memorize those or care, like you said. Go ahead, Paul. To go ahead and take us your thoughts on that as well.
No, I think just echo what Ben's saying about I think it's just representing what society is. It's not a small not a small number, but not a huge number, and that's what I was saying before. Like you go back to look like any ancient cave drawings or even pottery from Mesopotamia. I mean homosexuality has been with us, since the dawn of civilization. So this has been a part of a society, and it's had ebbs and flows, right? We were Greeks, Roman society, then we got to the more conservative, in America. Now it seems like it's going back up to like a more free and open society, just how it's been at various times in history. Which, absolutely, like you said, it's be you, absolutely, but allow me to be me too.
Exactly. Let's. What is it? Have you guys ever watched Firefly?
Yeah, I love it. Serenity?
Shepherd Book. He says, I don't care what you believe, just believe it. Just believe it.
Yeah.
Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be lukewarm, as the Christians would say.
Yeah, and the Christians would also push the narrative that this number is kind of like growing or being stoked.
Yeah, well, like you said in there, Ben, they're comfortable. More people are comfortable expressing their sexuality. Now, should they be slightly less comfortable and like, hey, like we get it, it's okay to be who you are, but like, come on, man.
Yeah. We're at Denny's now.
Yeah, exactly. Good news as well on our way out here. There is a report that Israel and Hamas are mulling in exchange for a 1-month truce in Gaza.
Hey.
So, and they are using the word truce in this.
Okay.
So Let's use our words correctly, and let's get more people free and ceasefire all day. Anybody with a microphone needs to say it, and I'm going to say it every chance I get. Thank you for listening to Apolitical Talk Show 1590 WCGO Multi-Format Network. We will be right back tomorrow. WCGO 1590 AM, W240EH 95.9 FM, Evanston, Chicago.